Yeah, hi everyone. In this video, I will walk you through how you can do your first assignment. So this is your first assignment template as part of AZ 900. There are a couple of questions. You have got totally 4 questions here. So you can answer these questions. As part of performing a lab activity, we have one lab activity to perform, and that is deploy Azure container instances. So how to do this particular lab, we will see in this particular video. Let me go to the scalable lab and launch the lab which we have to do as part of Azure Container Instances. So in here, if you go, the lab number 3 is what you're supposed to do. Let's select that lab and launch it. So it might take a couple of seconds. Let us wait. Yes, the lab is ready. It took almost 2 minutes to load this particular lab. Let me put it in full screen. If in case while loading your lab, if you find an error, if you encounter any error, whereas like you are unable to, uh, interact with this particular lab, then what you can do, you can just go and click this particular link and refresh it by hitting enter. But in my case, it didn't happen. So I can interact with this particular lab. I can start. So this scalable lab, what is provided to you will come with a virtual machine as well as instructions which you need to follow to complete this particular lab. If you want, you can just detach this instruction by using this split window, or you can leave it as it is. You please read these instructions. Okay, it will give you like how to use this particular UI. I'm not going to read out all, so we will just straight away go with this particular main thing, what we need to do for performing the lab. Okay, so this is for deploying container instances. So it will take around 10 to 15 minutes to complete. So the task one is to create a container instances. So how do you do it? So there are instructions given. You just need to follow this. That's it. So let us sign into Azure portal. And for that, so in your virtual machine, just start Microsoft Edge browser instances and search for portal.azure.com. Then key in the username and the password. So when you get this message, you can say not now and yes, no thanks. Yes, we successfully logged inside Azure. You can just close all those pop-up windows. Next, from all service plate, search for and select container instances and then click add. So either you can just go and search from here in the search box, if not as specified in the instruction, we can follow. So to get to all services, you have to go to this hamburger menu, and then you can find this all services, and then search for container instances. Yeah, here you go. This is what is container instances. Right now we don't have any. Let's create a new one. So either you can click create container instances or this. Both will take us to the same next page. Okay, this is done. So the moment you do some instruction activity, you can just check this box. Next, we need to perform this particular activity. On the basics tab, we need to give some information. So leave the subscription selected or the default one, and then search for the resource group. Select the resource group which is provided to you, and then the container name. So you can give it my container. So just let me type my container. And then the region is East US. So by default, if it is selected East US, then you can leave it as it is. If it is not, then you have to modify. By default, for me, selected US2. I want to modify it to US, East US. Okay. And then the image source. In here, you have to select other registries. And then the image type is public one, and then the image name. So let me do one thing, just copy this. Don't try to type, you might make some mistake. So better to copy and paste it. So for pasting, so once you select, right click and copy this particular text, you can go here and then go to type text, type clipboard text. If you click that, then the copied text will be pasted over here. And then the OS type is to be Linux. So leave it Linux selected. And then the size, leave it to be default. And then let's go to networking tab. On networking tab, the DNS label, DNS name label, you have to type. So you can type this value, my container DNS, followed by some XX is there, right? So you can just add some unique number so that you will be getting a unique DNS name. So this name, what you are going to give must be unique globally among all the account holders of Azure. So just to get the unique name, let me just type container, my container DNS. And if I get this, and let me just give some number, some random number I'm giving. You can also give any number. Okay, so then this selection is done. Next on the networking monitoring tab, let me move on to the next monitoring tab. Either I can select this or this. Let us go to monitoring tab. On the monitoring tab, uncheck the enable container instances log. So let us uncheck this. And that's it. We need to review, create, and create. It might take a couple of seconds. Let us wait until this container instance gets deployed. Yes, the resource deployment is successful. Now, according to this instruction, I can just click on this go to resources button to get inside the newly created resource, which is my container. And then you can just go and check the status. It should be running. Yes, in my case, it is running. Now, next, let me go and copy this FQDN, which is a fully qualified domain name. So which you can find it over here. Copy this and open a new browser tab. Just hit that domain name. And once you hit, if everything is perfect, there was nothing wrong while resource creation, then you could see this window, which is very much similar to this one. If so, then your lab is successful and that's it. So this is what you see your lab. Once you complete this particular lab, add some sticky notes here. Okay. So you can add just some sticky notes and give your name over here just to, avoid kind of repetition or duplication somebody does and then that person is circulating to somebody else. So just to avoid that, okay, just add a sticky note here and give your name. Okay, just to make sure that it is done by you. And that will end your lab. Thank you. Maybe at the end, what you can do is like you can just go and say end and end my lab, and that's it.